That feels like a nice one right there. Feels like a real nice one. That's a big crappie. Yeah, that's a big crappie. Look at that. Why don't you look at that crappie? Woo. He is a fat one. Look at that. How fat that is compared to my hand. All right, Miss Crappie, go get some more. Oh, that is a nice crappie. Looky there. That is a big old crappie. I got up here in this super shallow water. Came under that bridge and got that nice crappie. Look at that thing. That's a chunk. You know, this week I've been thinking really about what truth I wanted to talk to you about, and the thing that came to my mind really was 2 Corinthians 5:21, and it reads this way: He made him who knew no sin to be sin, that we might become the righteousness of Christ. And what it's saying is God made Jesus who knew no sin. He was the only one who had not sinned. He was perfect. God made him who knew no sin to be sin. This doesn't mean that Jesus was a sinner. What this is speaking about is Jesus' death on the cross. You know, Jesus went to the cross and they pierced his hands and they pierced his feet and they pierced his side and he hung there and died. But a lot of people died on a cross. At the same time as Jesus, there were two thieves that hung on a cross on either side of him. But this is much different. In this moment on the cross, God made Jesus who knew no sin to be sin. He poured out his wrath upon Jesus for the sins of everyone who would repent and believe. If you remember the night before Jesus' death, he's in the garden and he's sweating blood. And he says, I'm grieved to the point of death. And he says, Father, if it's possible, take this cup of wrath from me. And I think in that moment, God spared him the grief. But on the next day on the cross, that wrath of God that should be poured out on everyone who repents and believes and follows Jesus was poured out upon Jesus on the cross. God made him who knew no sin to be sin, that we, everyone who repents and believes, might become the righteousness of Christ. You see, this is the great exchange. It's the only way anyone can get into heaven. God, in this moment, puts all of our sin upon Jesus. It's this exchange of our sin for Jesus' righteousness. It's almost an accounting term. God, when we repent and believe and receive Jesus by faith, God removes our sin and credits us with the righteousness of Jesus Christ. It's only the righteousness of Jesus that anyone can get into heaven. God made him who knew no sin to be sin, that we might become the righteousness of Christ. People want to get to heaven by being good. You can't be, because you're not righteous. It's only the righteousness of Christ. It's this crediting the righteousness of Jesus that allows anyone to enter into heaven for all of eternity. God removes our sin, credits us with the righteousness of Jesus, and it's that righteousness that sets us free. And so today I want to encourage you, don't be deceived by the lie that you can be good enough to get into heaven. You can't. It's only the righteousness of Jesus Christ that will allow you into heaven. And so I just want to encourage you, if you've never trusted Jesus, if you've never put your hope and your faith and your trust in him, to do that today. In the show notes here for Hooked on Truth, you will find a link to a video that explains this a little bit more. Would encourage you to take a look at that and share that with someone else. In the meantime, hey, let's go try to catch some more fish. Thanks for joining us here on Hooked on Truth. There we go. That's a black crappie. Look at that. That's a nice little black crappie. See how dark he is? Those dark spots, that's a black crappie. Look at this crappie. That's another nice one. There's quite a few crappie up in here, but the water temperature is about 64 degrees, so they're getting ready to spawn. Anytime you have a tree or a piece of bush that's leaning over like that, that's always a good spot. It provides a lot of cover. It's just, they could be anywhere on that thing. Maybe more in the back. Not in the... There he is. Oh, that's a bigger fish. I think that's a bass. It is a bass. It was a bass. We're trying to catch a crappie and not a bass. I thought he was going to break me off. That's a healthy little bass. That's a healthy little bass. He hit it hard. See if there's something on the backside of all this. That's a good spot right there. There's a crappie. I knew there was one there. There had to be one. It's too good a spot. These isolated sticks look pretty good right here. We'll see if there's any fish on them. There's one. That's a crappie. A rascal. It's a nice little crappie. Nothing to write home about, but I'll take him. Thanks for watching Hooked on Truth. I hope you'll subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Hey, thanks for watching another episode of Hooked on Truth. And remember the words of Jesus. He said, if you continue in my word, then you're truly disciples of mine. And you'll know the truth, and the truth will set you free.